Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Hey John. And today we're going to be answering the question, can you really charge your EV, your electric vehicle, off of your home solar system? The answer to that question is it depends. In my case, I have a really large EV. I have a Silverado EV LT with a fairly large battery, one of the largest, not the largest battery, but pretty large for an EV, and so it consumes a lot of power. The real question is, can you really charge that from home, where it's 100% solar powered versus powering it off the grid? So stick around and we'll share what we're doing, and you can decide for yourself if that will work for you. Okay, so there's a number of factors that determine whether or not you can actually charge your EV off of your solar system. And it obviously has to do with the capacity of your solar system. So I can't speak to everybody's solar system. So I'm just going to kind of cover what we have to be able to charge our Silverado EV off of solar. So we'll start with the basics. The solar system that we built, it's a DIY home built solar system. It is attached to the grid, but we do not sell back to the grid. So we simply use the grid as backup if we don't generate enough solar energy, which can and does happen during the winter. Not every day, but this last winter, I think there was about 14 days out of 5 months that we didn't generate all the solar power that we needed. So we're doing pretty good. So our solar system consists of 40 panels. And with those 40 panels, and obviously you can get panels that are rated at all different sorts of ratings and stuff like that. But we're based in Northern California, and we wanted to build, when we put our system together, we wanted to build a 17K system. So we did some math and determined, okay, here's what our normal home needs are, washing machines, wells, all that sort of stuff. But we needed extra to be able to charge the Silverado EV. But more importantly, beyond how much electricity we can generate from the sun with this 17K system, is what do we do with that? And I think for any practical system, you've got to have storage, you've got to have batteries. And we started off our system with four 14K, 14 point something K batteries. And what we found is at least during the summer months, we were still coming up a little shy to be able to charge the EV 100% without popping back on the grid. So we have added a fifth battery. And so we have a total of 72 kilowatts of storage. And we can fill that on a typical day, even partially cloudy day, we can still get those batteries charged up. So the first step in being able to generate enough electricity is you've got to be able to figure out the combination of the size of solar panels versus the size of storage versus the need. And obviously, with any electric vehicle, you're going to have a much higher need than you would without it. Matter of fact, we went for almost a month where we didn't have the EV at home, and we had more electricity than we knew what to do with. To get to the point where, okay, I'm charging my EV 100% from my solar system, especially if you're someone like me who works during the day, so I can't have my EV plugged in to my home solar system during the day because I've driven it to work and it's not there. You really have to have battery storage so that you can save that solar energy in a battery. And then when I come home at night, be able to plug the EV in and plug into that system. I'm going to show you some pictures here of our solar system. It's a 40 panel system. It's on an adjustable ground mount array, which is very handy. So we can optimize how much electricity it's making throughout the year as the sun changes angles. Inside, we're running a 2 inverter system with 5 batteries for a total storage of 72 kilowatts. And that has easily meets all of our home needs. And on most days, can either cover the amount of power we need to charge the EV or come fairly close. And I will show you some graphs of that. Here is a graph of a day of charging, or an overlap of a day, right? This is starting at 12 in the afternoon one day. And this is the solar production. This is electrical usage during the night. And then this nice square box here with just some ripples on top, that is the EV charging, okay? So in my case, and again, another variable is what size EV you have, what size battery is in the EV, and obviously how far you drive the EV. So I am typically charging my Silverado EV LT up to 80%. So where you see this fall off a cliff here, that means the truck was charged to 80% at that point in time. And typically it's starting about in the either high 50s, 58, 59% state of charge to 60% state of charge. I use between the 60 and 80% state of charge is what I use almost on a daily basis. It will change depending upon, different either driving conditions or where I'm driving to, things like that. So in this case, this graph is showing you that yes, the truck on this particular day was charged 100% on solar power. But you've got to have a system that could produce this much power and or store this much power if your truck isn't there to be charged during the day. Now, if we look at another day, oh, that's the same day. Let's move one more down. Here's another day. Similar, we had a great day here of solar production. You can see over here. So that was getting all stored up in the batteries. Matter of fact, if I go down here, here's the state of charge of the batteries. And you can see once the sun goes down, we start to taper down on the batteries. And then here is where we start charging the truck, and the taper starts to come down a lot more. And then we get down, in this case, the battery state of charge only got down to 54%. So we're doing really good. On some days, it will drop all the way down to the full 20%. And I'll show you some graphs of that too. So in this day, I would guess that we didn't drive the truck quite as far at this day. So this was a good day for being able to, again, charge it 100% on solar. And now here is probably a more typical day. So first off, it was a cloudy day. You can tell that by the spikes of the electricity coming in, PV power. So I didn't get to make as much electricity. I don't even know, did the batteries get filled up to, yeah, the batteries barely did hit 100%. So we did get our full charge. And then this is going through the rest of the day, evenings, probably cooking dinner, doing wash, whatever. And then once again, here's charging. But if you notice, at the very end of the charge cycle, we went in, we've got this red, and that's where we went on the grid. And that's because if we go down here, the batteries got down to 20% state of charge, which is where in our system we cut it off so as to keep the batteries in good shape. We don't pull them down below the 20%. So in this case, this last, I don't know, half an hour or so of charging was off of the grid. As you can see, not every day do we get to charge the EV 100% off the grid? Let's see if we can find another example. Okay, here's a day. Again, we had a lot of ups and downs with the clouds that day. We did still get to 100% state of charge. Not a lot of electric usage that day, but this again was the truck being charged. I'm not sure what this little blip was in the truck charging, but either way, this is the truck charging. And again, we didn't go on the grid. So again, another day, 100% charged off solar. And then we can see here this next day, it looks like a pretty good day of solar production, probably without a lot of clouds. Yeah. And this big drop off, just for those that want to know, is because in our case, when our batteries are 100% full, then it will cut the solar production to match whatever our need is, which is this right down here. So again, we can see where the truck started to come online here. And let's see if we move it up. Okay. Even with that great production, because we had gone on a longer road trip, it looks like, or we were preparing for a longer road trip. I think this was, what day was this? 3, 4? Yeah, we were probably preparing to go on a road trip. So we wanted to charge the Silverado EV up to 100%. So that's why this block is much longer than normally it'd be cut off, somewhere over here. It went even further, and that was to charge the truck up to 100%. And there was some other electric usage that came in here, but you could pretty much, this square part of this down to here is the truck charging. So you can see, once again, in this case, we had to go back on the grid because our solar system, or the batteries, basically got to their 20% state of charge. Now, looking at this, one could say, well, why not add another battery? And that is a very valid question, because as you can see here, in this day we had more sun. So in theory, we could add another battery to the system and probably have this 100% covered on solar. Obviously, you need to weigh the cost of the batteries and stuff. The current batteries I'm using are EG4 batteries. They're 14.4 or 2, 4. I think they're 14.4 kilowatts batteries. And I think they retail somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 each. So you're always weighing that, the cost of your solar system versus the cost of actual production. So I'm never charging the truck during the highest peak charges from PG&E, because in California that's very expensive. Since this is early morning, which is the lowest cost of using grid, then that works. And as you can see here, even though we've pulled it down by whatever time this is, 8:22 in the morning, we have gone back off grid, and the solar production has started to take on, and we'll go from there. Okay, so to summarize, yes, you can charge your EV 100% off of solar. Does it make sense to charge your EV 100% off of solar? It still depends, right? It depends on the cost of the solar system. It depends on whether that's a practical thing to do for what you have, the size of the system you currently have or are going to build. And does it make financial sense to do that? It depends a lot on where you live. In California, electricity is very expensive, especially if you're a PG&E customer. And so solar made sense for us. We could cut our bill drastically. A typical bill before solar, charging the Silverado EV on a monthly basis, could easily be $800-900 in our particular environment, because of everything, all the other electrical needs that we have. We're uh, we're on a well, so we have to be able to run the well, and pretty much everything is electric between the stove and the dryers and things like that. So it it cost a lot already, and then you add a big Silverado EV on top of that, and that easily doubled our monthly bill of electricity. So having a solar system for us makes a lot of sense, but you still have to look at the cost of implementing that solar system, which is one of the reasons why I did do a DIY project to build the solar system and hired out subcontractors where I needed the expertise and stuff like that. So that's an approach. But to go back to the main question, can you 100% charge your car off of solar? And I would say yes, with the caveat that you don't always have a sunny day. So then what do, right? So you definitely need a backup plan, whether you're totally off grid and then you're running generators or something like that, or like in my case, I use the solar system for 99% of our power. And when we do have a cloudy day or can't generate quite enough electricity, then we supplement with the grid. And that works out fairly nicely for us. Hopefully, this has been interesting. And if you'd like to hear more, or if you need more details about something, please put that in the comments and I'll do another video about whatever questions you might have. Please like and subscribe. That helps. And if you're interested, if you're somebody who's watching from the HeyJohn Solar, and you're interested in finding out more about the Silverado EV, check out the HeyJohn Silverado EV channel. And if you're watching on the Silverado channel and interested about how to charge your EV using a solar system, check out our HeyJohn Solar channel. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.